All right, man. Told you talk. You know what it is, man. Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good this morning. So look, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, yeah, man. I had to jump in and do this real quick because this is breaking news. UMG has responded again to Drake, and this time they responded with another a brutal dismissal of a motion to dismiss over the motion to dismiss the first one. So they doubling down, they coming after Drake again with this one. But this one here, I was reading some of it. Yeah, man. Yeah, they just openly saying stuff now. So before we get into that, I gotta get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing if you're new here. Let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. There we go. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They called me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, almost 18,000. And yes, I am the King of the North. Let me know what kingdom you are from. Check out my episode this morning, the Face of Destruction, Academics. I'm dropping this one as soon as possible. You're still going to get the 12 o'clock show, and you're still going to get the 6 o'clock show. So make sure y'all here for that. But this one's coming out now. So hey, it is what it is. So look, man, we're gonna get into this, man. Let's get it. I can't remember if I said I am the king of the north. Let me know what kingdom you are from. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I forget because I be doing so much. All right, so look, man, this comes courtesy of the Ville. We gonna get it. Shout out to the Ville. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the cash app's at the top right corner of the video. But let's get into it, man, because we got to talk about how UMG have filed a motion to dismiss Drake's amended complaint in this lawsuit. Yes, sir. It looks like UMG wasn't done cooking Drake. They brutally cooked Drake, doubled down on it with this second motion to dismiss. Now, they had filed a motion to dismiss the first time. Drake had to go back and amend the complaint. And now UMG is filing a motion to dismiss the amended complaint. Like, UMG is not messing around, bro. All the things that they said in this motion to dismiss lets you know that they are not playing. So this is the motion to dismiss the amended complaint. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what it is that UMG said in regards to this document right here. Now, initially, the first few pages of this motion to dismiss is essentially just a recap of the first motion to dismiss. They're basically just giving you the whole rundown of the beef, of the songs that were used, Not Like Us, Family Matters, Taylor Made Freestyle, Baca, His Case, the rap feud being a common thing. Rap beef is a common thing in hip hop. Drake being aware of the rap beef. He studies rap battles for a living. That's what he said. Euphoria, all the quotes, all the lyrics, all being quoted, everything right here. This is all just a recap, basically, from the first time they had sent the motion to dismiss. What really is the important part of all of this is the argument.
Now, I think people gotta understand too that UMG been on this. You gotta understand, UMG, they got people in place for all this. They got lyrical analysis, analyzers, all types of stuff. It's not just UMG, it's just a bunch of old white men up in. No, trust and believe, they got the best on the case, and Drake's side do too when it comes to like lyrics and stuff like that. And they're gonna do whatever it takes to spin it and break it down. The crazy thing is, these lawyers are gonna do more analyzing and breaking down than we do because they're experts at verbiage and stuff like that. So they're basically going to do more digging in and from the legal sense, not from the how would I say, not from the the not from the legal sense. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the word right now, but they're gonna they're gonna break it down. You know what I'm saying? More than what I believe how we could break it down in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Just in a different way. Not saying that they're better than what we're doing, but they're gonna do it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going.
Argument right here is what really matters, is really the meat and potatoes of this whole document. After they recap everything, the argument says that the legal standard, a complaint must plead enough facts to state a claim to relief that is plausible on its face. The court can credit only well-pleaded, non-conclusory factual allegations. In certain circumstances, the court may permissibly consider documents other than the complaint in ruling on a motion Rule 12b-6, including documents incorporated into the complaint by reference. and matters of which court may take judicial notice, including the fact that press coverage contains certain information. In particular, courts will take judicial notice of documents that Drake contends that the decision not to include the word PDF file, as using the phrase certified PDF file, in Lamar's Super Bowl performance could only reflect that the language is defamatory, but this ignores any number of other explanations for the decision, such as threats by Drake of additional meritless litigation. Drake argues that because Kendrick chose not to use the phrase certified PDF file when he performed at the Super Bowl, even though it may have been used in the original song, Drake is using that and claiming that him not using the word would mean to Drake that the phrase is defamatory. And in other words, Lamar avoided saying it because he knew it would legally damage Drake's reputation.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's a little more than that. I definitely think that that Kendrick Lamar, he took that out because it was at the Super Bowl. There was a bunch of different reasons why he didn't use that. It could have been because there's a family oriented show. It could be because he didn't want to say it. It could be because I don't know. It could be a bunch of different reasons, like not to say that. The NFL may have told him not to say it. It could be a bunch of different reasons why he didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just necessarily mean he took it out because it was defamatory towards Drake. So let's keep it going.
However, the counter argument from UMG is that they're saying that's a weak or overly speculative argument. Just because Lamar didn't say the phrase doesn't automatically prove it's defamatory. There could be many other reasons for omitting the phrase, such as the NFL being a family company. Millions of children are watching the NFL. It's on public television. There's more than enough reasons why Kendrick couldn't say that word on public television, not just because of Drake. It could even be the artist's choice not to say it. But nonetheless, if you've seen the halftime performance, you know that the phrase was censored, but Drake is trying to twist this and make an argument out of it as being defamatory. In hindsight, what this is really showing is that Drake was immediately planning on suing Kendrick Lamar and openly complained about the Super Bowl the minute that it aired. Just another.
Yeah, that's true. So how is it that, so you basically saying that because he didn't use the word at the Super Bowl and he used the word on a song, that means that he took it out because he knew it was defamatory and it was actually untrue or whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, if he really was trying to defame you, don't you think he would have said it at the Super Bowl? No matter what, there's people who did things at the Super Bowl, and even though the NFL told them not to do it, they still did it. I think Eminem did it. It was Janet Jackson. Well, that was kind of a mistake, but people did things at the Super Bowl that they wasn't told to do. They was told not to do. People did it at concerts. People did it at shows. You know, he comes from the NWA lineage. I mean, NWA definitely did things that when they told them not to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Example of you seeing that Drake was trying to sue from the very beginning. I don't think that Kendrick Lamar not uttering the phrase because Drake thinks it's defamatory is going to hold up in court at all. Drake is just trying to use the omission of a controversial lyric as evidence of defamation, but the court or the defense is saying that logic doesn't hold up. UMG saying it don't make any sense. There are many other reasons for an artist to censor themselves, alter content, whatever the case may be, especially on a public stage like the Super Bowl. Remember, a Rule 12b-6 is a provision of the Federal Rules and Civil Procedure that allows a defendant to ask the court to dismiss a lawsuit because the plaintiff hasn't stated a legal valid claim. And that's what they follow up with the second paragraph. Drake fails to state a claim for defamation. Drake, who had no concerns using UMG's platform to publish slurs about Lamar during the rap feud, now claims Not Like Us is defamatory. These allegations directly aimed at chilling legitimate artistic expression safeguarded by the First Amendment and are meritless. Drake fails to state a...
That's 100% facts. So let me get this right. You could say these things about people and about another artist. That's just as defamatory and detrimental to his career. But yet and still, you the one suing. And you were out here doing the same thing. I just don't understand how this happens. Now, I know in the legal system it works. Well, you ain't the one that's suing. I'm the one that's suing. So obviously it didn't bother you. It bothered me. But when does it come a time where we talk about what things bother people and what actually is what it is? So it's like, okay, so because it bothered you, it gives you the right to sue. But you said worser things about me. You said actually two things about me that's 10 times, in my opinion, 10 times worse than what I said about you, because I never directly called you any of these things. I never directly said that you were a PDF file. I just said certified PDF file, but I never said you were. I insinuated it, but I never said you were. I might have had danced around it, but I never said. But you literally said that that baby, my child, wasn't mine, and you literally said that I beat on my girlfriend, and you literally said they hired a crisis management team to cover up the fact that you beat on your queen. You literally said that. So it wasn't like, oh man, like you dancing around it. Nah. Like you really put aim at me and said these things. Like for real.
Claim for defamation because not like us conveys non-actionable opinion and rhetorical hyperbole. And because he does not adequately plead that UMG acted with actual malice, the alleged defamatory material is non-actionable opinion and hyperbole. To be defamatory, a publication must convey fact, not opinion or rhetorical hyperbole. Expression of opinion as opposed to assertion of fact are deemed privileged, and no matter how offensive, cannot be the subject of an action for defamation. And the footnote here is just letting you know that this whole situation, this whole lawsuit, and the angle that Drake is trying to take with it, he's trying to say that this lawsuit is not about the artists who created Not Like Us. UMG is challenging that and saying that Drake's repeated instances to the contrary merely betrays his recognition that his true battle was and is with Kendrick Lamar. It says here that Drake also claims that the lyrics of Not Like Us imply that they are based on additional facts not disclosed to the listener. This too fails as a matter of law. New York courts apply the objective reasonable person standard to assess whether a statement implies undisclosed facts, making it a mixed opinion. The courts...
You see how they doing that? You see how Drake and his team be trying to slide these innuendos and these lies in there, not necessarily lies, but more like half truths in there to try to make it seem like what Drake is saying is so defamatory, but they're not addressing the fact that I'd never seen his lawyers address the fact that all the things that Drake said. I never seen it. I mean, I guess they don't have to, but I didn't see them address all the things that Drake was saying about Kendrick.
Essential task is to decide whether the word complained of, considered in the context of the entire communication and of the circumstances in which they were spoken or written, may be reasonably understood as implying the assertion of undisclosed facts justifying the opinion. Meaning whether a statement constitutes a pure opinion or a mixed opinion is a question of the law for the court. That is, answered by considering in the context of the entire communication and of the circumstances in which they were spoken or written, whether the average listener would reasonably understand the opinion as implying the assertion of undisclosed facts justifying the opinion. Drake points to two lyrics to support his argument that Not Like Us leaves an unmistakable impression that is based on undisclosed facts. Say, Drake, I hear you like them young. And the other lyric, the rabbit hole is deep, I can go further, I promise. Shout out the rabbit hole.
Which I don't understand why Drake and his team would think that that's not, like, I don't understand why they would think that there's no evidence of this. I guess Drake didn't tell them this stuff, and now they gotta have to. Yeah, Drake must have not told them. He must have not told his lawyers a lot of these things, and his lawyers should have asked some questions. Well, is there any reason that he would say these things? They had to ask him that. There's no way his lawyers didn't ask him this stuff. There's no way. They had to ask him this. And did he tell them the truth or not? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they didn't think UMG was going to go this far.
These statements cannot be reasonably understood as conveying undisclosed facts. Drake's claim as to the first lyric is particularly stunning, as noted above. Drake himself goaded Lamar to talk about Drake liking him young, because right after that, Lamar then did so. Does not convey anything other than that Lamar accepted Drake's invitation. UMG is telling Drake right here, the only reason why he did that in the first place was because you told him to say it. You were egging him on. He hadn't even replied to you at this point, and you kept dropping songs, and you kept talking to him. You kept provoking him. So he listened to you and accepted your invitation and decided to talk about how you like him young. In all events, the statements are too vague to support the weight that Drake gives them, as they have no precise meaning which is readily understood. More fundamentally, for the reason of tone and context already discussed, these rhetorical statements fail to imply any factual basis for the lyrics in Not Like Us. The court held that although two statements may cross the line into becoming potentially actionable mixed opinions, they do not imply undisclosed facts, where they could be reasonably understood as part of a tasteless effort to lampoon because they were made in circumstances where an audience may anticipate the use of epithets, fiery rhetoric, and hyperbole. They double down by saying that Drake's argument also fails because the statement in Not Like Us relates to other controversies. Indeed, to the extent of the quotations rabbit hole has any understood meaning. It does not imply undisclosed facts, but rather pursuing a known piece of information. Alice followed the rabbit down the hole to Wonderland. That is crazy. And in that sense,
Bro, this is about to get brutal. I'm gonna tell you right now. If they going where I think they're going, if they're basically saying like the rabbit hole goes deep, and they're gonna bring up all of Drake's past things in this dismissal, this is gonna be brutal. Cause I want to see how his lawyers respond. I really want to see how his lawyers respond because all of this stuff is on camera. If they bring up the Millie Bobby Brown text thing, and if they bring up the whole girl on stage, oh my God, bro, this is gonna be bad for him, man.
this implies Lamar is referring to a well-known rumor regarding Drake's relationship with Mike. And this is where I think they absolutely cooked Drake at this point, bro. I think they're really doubling down here. I mean, for the love of God, bro, they're referencing the rabbit hole and they're saying that Kendrick is only saying these things about you because they're well-known rumors regarding Drake's relationship with youngins. Now, this
I want to say this real quick. Imagine a scenario where the record label is defending a diss track. Imagine this. The record label is actually out here explaining a diss track towards another artist. And the artist is going after the record label. I swear we living in an upside down world. And you know the crazy thing is, Millie Bobby Brown is from Stranger Things, and that's from the upside down world. Bro, this is crazy.
is the part where I was talking about when UMG had made that response not too long ago. When UMG was talking about how a discovery could go both ways and be careful what you wish for, I think this rabbit hole angle that they're going with in this lawsuit could get a lot more messier and it could go a lot more deeper, I promise. Although some of the statements are based on undisclosed, unfavorable facts known to the writer and disgruntled tone, anonymous posting and predominant use of statements that cannot be definitively proven true or false supports the findings that the challenge statements are only susceptible of non-defamatory meaning grounded in opinion. Essentially, what they're saying is that Kendrick is just making the song based off of rumors that are well known to everybody, which is crazy to say because UMG, the people that have been taking care of Drake for years, their own artists, they're the ones that are saying that it's a well-known rumor regarding Drake's relationship with youngins. Drake also alleges the statements in Lamar's Euphoria, including "Don't tell no lie about me and I won't tell truths about you." And I know some ish that make Gunna want to look like a saint imply that Not Like Us is based on undisclosed facts. For the same reasons discussed above, this argument fails both in light of the rhetorical hyperbole of the artist rap battle and because there is no connection drawn between these lyrics and the statements in Not Like Us. UMG was...
I can't believe that Drake team went back to Euphoria and try to say that since he said don't tell no lie about me, I won't tell truths about you, and I know some shit that made Gunna want to look like a saint. Bro, this is getting crazy. They literally used those lyrics to try to say, well, he's telling the... So is Kendrick telling the truth? Because that was his statement. His statement was, don't tell a lie about me and I won't tell the truth about you. So is Kendrick telling the truth? Because I noticed that they never said that Kendrick was lying. They're just saying that he's defaming him, but they never said what Kendrick Lamar is saying is a lie. At least that's not what I heard. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't hear his lawyers say that. So
wasn't done cooking Drake there, bro. They decided to keep going. They wanted to go further, and they really wanted to let Drake have it. Because the next paragraph is insane. It says, facts and criticism concerning Drake's relationship with mine predate Not Like Us and have been widely reported. Widely reported is insane. The criticism of Drake's relationship and all that being widely reported is diabolical, bro. Like UMG going at Drake this way. Remember, these are the guys that have been taking care of Drake for a really long time. This is their artist. Indicating Drake for years of rumors of speculation around his misbehavior around youngins, and that Millie Bobby Brown is one of the things that most people are aware of when it comes to Drake and the rumors around him. In The Heart Part 6, Drake also affirmed that he understood Lamar's statement in Not Like Us to refer to Millie Bobby Brown's controversy, stating that this Epstein angle was the ish that I expected, and I only effing with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I never looked twice at no teenager. Clearly, Drake himself understands that Lamar's lyrics refer to well-known issues that have been widely reported. Drake's arguments concerning undisclosed facts carry no weight at all. And the footnote is interesting.
You know what I think now that I think about that line? I actually think that Drake tried to talk to Whitney. I think that Drake tried to talk to Whitney. And I think that probably is one of the biggest reasons why Kendrick and Drake, I think, is not being said, but I think Drake tried to talk to her and she probably turned him down. Something happened between Whitney, Drake, and Kendrick. Because Drake has a history of doing these things. But I believe, in my heart of hearts, I believe that's what happened. And I believe that's why they have this big issue. Maybe Drake said something to him. Maybe that's why Kendrick said, we got some shit to address. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why Drake feels so comfortable to say Whitney and all this stuff now. But I think that, yeah. Let's get it.
Because it says right here, we all know the stories of him going to girls' basketball games. There are some things that we've seen and heard over the years. It's kind of wild that this has been in the atmosphere for some time, but no one has previously called out Drake in this way. When Millie Bobby Brown was 13, she met Drake at a concert. He was 30 or 31 at the time. She said they would text a lot in interviews and they maintained their friendship where he would give her advice about boys and stuff like that. This was spoken about in interviews. Allegations of Drake having inappropriate relationships, Drake having these suspicious relationships with youngins is a topic Drake has had to debunk in the past. Not Like Us reflects these rumors surrounding Drake's personal life. Now, this becomes a very big conflict because your label is essentially saying that these rumors about our artist that is suing us, they have been going around for years. Not Like Us is a reflection of those rumors that have surrounded Drake's personal life before the beef had even started. And I think this is just one step going further into where UMG could take it if Drake continues to play this game. I think that UMG not only doubling down in this way, but if it gets to that point, I really think that they're really gonna start talking, bruh, about any type of escapade that they're aware of, that we're not aware of about Drake.
I'm telling you right now, that's 100% facts. They are going to spill the whole thing some stuff we don't even know about. If this goes to trial, this is going to be crazy. I'm telling y'all now.
It says here that Drake cannot allege that UMG acted with actual malice. Drake claims should also be dismissed for failure to plead actual malice. A public figure can prevail on defamation claim only where clear and convincing evidence proves that a defamatory statement was published with actual malice. That is with deliberate or reckless falsification. The element of actual malice focuses primarily on what a defendant knew or believed at the time a purportedly false statement was made. Because UMG is a corporation, Drake must also plead specific allegations that individuals at UMG acted with actual malice. At the time that they participated in the publication of the statement in question, Drake does not and cannot plead that any specific person acted with actual malice. His defamation claims fail for this reason as well. Essentially, what they're saying is that because UMG is a corporation and not a person, Drake can't say that UMG defamed me. He must go further and specifically identify a person at UMG who could have done that. The argument here is that Drake hasn't, and
that's exactly what I was saying. Like, you have to say it was Kendrick Lamar. You can't say it was us when we're promoting both of y'all. How could you say that it's me trying to defame you when I'm promoting you trying to defame him? That doesn't make sense. It has to be Kendrick. You have to go after Kendrick. And I think that he don't want to do that. He don't want to do that for a number of reasons. One, that's just crazy in hip hop that you're suing somebody. That would end his career completely. But even though I believe that he's trying to dance around it and people trying to defend him, but if Drake say no, I have to sue Kendrick, because I believe UMG said that he would have to sue Kendrick, yeah, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get ugly. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
We can't point to an individual at UMG who acted with actual malice in publishing statements he's complaining about. Because of that, his defamation claim will fail, especially against a corporate defendant like UMG. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're the ones that were signing Drake's checks. So if you think that they can't go against Drake forever, you're completely wrong about this, bro. But remember, Drake has to prove that the statement was not just false, but that the speaker knew it was false or had reckless disregard for the truth. And it leaves the question again, why are you suing UMG and not Kendrick Lamar? Like people say, he wants to mask this lawsuit like if he's being a hero going against the machine. Realistically, he's just salty about the loss, but doesn't want to make it about Kendrick Lamar and doesn't want to make the lawsuit about him losing against Kendrick. He wants to make it about UMG and him trying to change the story. But if that's the case, he would have named somebody already. Says here, courts also recognize that the malice inquiry must focus on what the publisher intended to convey. Whether the speaker intends his statement as outrageous parodies or caricatures, there may be no consciousness that the speaker is publishing something false because the speaker does not think he is publishing a statement of fact and therefore lacks subjective knowledge or recklessness as to the falsification of statement of fact required to show actual malice. So to hear UMG released a rap diss track conveying rhetoric and insults, Drake has not alleged that anyone at UMG intended to convey anything other than what this was, an incendiary diss track. Like I said, bro, Drake's issues are with Kendrick Lamar. It's not with UMG. Drake fails to state a claim for a second-degree harassment. Drake asserts a claim for harassment in the second degree under NY Penal Law 240-26-3, claiming that Lamar issued a call to target, including through violence, and that Not Like Us amounts to incitement. This claim fails for multiple reasons. Means that a private right of action is inconsistent with the legislative scheme. Courts, therefore, routinely hold that 240-26 does not create a private right of action. This passage is basically arguing that the New York Penal Law 240-26, which is also known as second-degree harassment, does not give private individuals the right to sue someone under it because it's a criminal statute and not a civil one. UMG is saying that Drake is trying to use this criminal law as a basis for a civil lawsuit, which the court says is not allowed. So there's a chance that
this is gonna get dismissed. If that's the case, then he's gonna have to file a criminal lawsuit, and he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. At least not against Kendrick. He ain't gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna have to, because I just want to see how his lawyers dance around this one. This is pretty good.
This is going to be dismissed. So there's a chance that even if this keeps going on, there's a chance that this second degree harassment situation could be dismissed because of that. You can't sue someone civilly under this law for harassment. You need to base your claim on a civil statute and not a criminal one. Finally, Drake fails to allege that UMG acted with no legitimate purpose in publishing and promoting Not Like Us. The phrase no legitimate purpose means the absence of reason or justification to engage someone other than to hound, frighten, or threaten. Here, Drake expressly alleges that UMG motives with respect to Not Like Us were financial. Here, Drake expressly alleges that UMG's motives with respect to Not Like Us were financial. Drake fails to state a claim under NYG BL 349. Immediately after the release of Not Like Us, Drake started making baseless accusations that Lamar was using superstitious means, such as fake streams, to make the song appear more popular than it is. Now Drake has attempted to shoehorn his grievance into a NYGBL 349 claim against UMG. Drake claims that UMG made materially false and misleading representation about the recording's popularity to consumers, without disclosing that it was covertly financially incentivizing third parties to play, stream, and promote the recording, including paying others to use bots to stream the recording. Drake cannot satisfy the elements of the GBL 349 claim.
Yeah, so what about that? I remember when Rory went on there and they were saying, oh, UMG is paying people more and Kendrick more or something to that effect. I remember all this. So what happened to all that? Now all of a sudden, now it's not nothing about all this. Now all of a sudden, no, If Kendrick's getting a different split, then we need to understand why, and we need to what happened to all that. I remember these interviews where people were saying these things. I just don't get it. Now all of a sudden now it's not about that now. See how this works?
First, Drake fails to plausibly allege a convert scheme. All of his allegations are on information and belief. Bot allegations on information and belief. And that's going off of the academic stream, all these other things that Drake had gotten from the internet, Drake had gotten online. Drake has also received information that UMG engaged in a classic pay-for-play scheme by paying to increase the airplay for the recording on the radio. But such allegations must be accompanied by a statement of the facts upon which the belief is founded and cannot rest on pure conjecture and speculation. This is true especially with regard to consumer fraud claims such as those under GBL. After withdrawing his prior false allegations, which were the ones that he removed because those were the ones he used the academics reference that just didn't add up in court, was frivolous, and they threw it out. Drake had to amend his lawsuit and take it out. So after withdrawing his prior false allegation that UMG was accused on a podcast of paying to use bots to stream Not Like Us, Drake is now reduced to citing different podcast hosts who claimed that Kendrick used bots so that a Drake record would have more dislikes than likes. This is him referencing Joe Budden's podcast. And let me remind you that Joe Budden has already came out and said that he was lying. And he has a disclaimer in his videos that say that everything that he says isn't to be taken serious or to be used to indict anybody. He also relies on now deleted anonymous X comments accusing Lamar of buying promo to clown Drake's lawsuit, not to promote Not Like Us, as well as another post claiming that UMG and Lamar used a bot streamer. Courts reject such online comment-based pleading because online comments are utterly failed to make plausible the underlying factual claims. This is them cooking Drake because they're like, I don't know why Drake keeps using Twitter and comments from the internet to try to prove a point. Thus, these
That's a fact. I was saying that before. I don't understand why he does that. I have no clue why he goes on Twitter and X to find like his facts from people who don't really work in the industry and people who lie, like Epic. Oh yeah, I did all these streams for Kendrick, and then he didn't pay me, and then I went to Drake's camp to try to find out why Kendrick ain't pay me. Huh? Hey, come on, bro.
Comments cannot save Drake's information and belief allegations. Drake's remaining allegations are even more speculative, such as 2 X posts from July showing Not Like Us being recommended to Spotify users who search for rap artists. Drake also fails to plausibly allege that UMG had actual knowledge of any conduct or accusations concerning Lamar. Moreover, Drake cannot allege that any representation about the recording's popularity to consumers were actually deceptive or misleading in a material way. And I think that it's hilarious how they get at Drake about using comments in the comment section and the way that Drake uses references. They even got a few of these Twitter accounts to let you show that these are the usernames that Drake is getting of the people that Drake is referencing in this lawsuit, just to show you how ridiculous it is. Drake using these random burner accounts to prove his point on a lawsuit. The comments cited in Drake's complaint make this point. They are rife with grammatical errors, slang and emojis, and authored by sources such as Wrestling Warrior 15, Meow Meow 1234 Meow, and I'm Chicken Little on X. This is crazy, bro. These are the references that Drake is coming with. This is insane. And I see why UMG is pointing this out. It is so ridiculous to reference these accounts on a lawsuit like this. And when I went over the amended complaint the first time, I was clicking all of these links and they were just taking me to random accounts on Twitter, bro. It was almost laughable. It was laughable. It's so ridiculous how many hyperlinks that they put from Twitter in the amended lawsuit. They took out a lot of information. They took out a lot of their arguments and filled it with regurgitated bullshit that you find on Twitter by people like Meow Meow 1234, I'm Chicken Little, and Wrestling Warrior 15. I think that's the point that UMG is trying to make with all of this. Drake does not and cannot allege that Not Like Us would have not been an immense success had it not been for the alleged financial incentives at issue. That is, there are no alleged false or deceptive statements, even assuming that these payments occurred, nor does Drake allege that knowledge of these alleged covert payments would be material to consumers. After all, there's no obligation under GBL 349 to provide whatever information a consumer might like to know. Second, Drake's injury theory is that 1, each time the recording was artificially streamed, Drake's songs received a disproportionate share from the pool of royalties collected based on the streaming data. And 2, every time the recording was played on the radio, Drake lost the opportunity for one of his songs to be played. But such far-fetched claims are not cognizable. The proposition that a Drake's
That's crazy as hell. So because the song was played, my song was played, you lost the opportunity. That's the whole thing about battling. Like, so you saying that UMG stopped my song from being played? Like, come on, bro.
Song would necessarily have been played instead of Not Like Us is pure speculation. Nor does Drake allege how either claim injury was caused by a failure to disclose the alleged financial incentives. That is, how they were a result of the deception. And in any event, Drake's GBL 349 claim fails because he only alleges injuries that are indirect on harm to third parties. So that was the lawsuit, 33 pages. It was a big read. It was a really big read. I appreciate everybody who stuck around to the very end. I think they doubled down on a lot of things that they said the first time they had made the argument, and now they're doubling down and saying all of these things, talking about the references, talking about Drake, inviting Kendrick to say those things. The rabbit hole angle was crazy. I really think that them talking about the rabbit hole the way that they did, they're leaving it for open discussion. This wasn't created by Kendrick Lamar. There were rumors that were already circulating. If anything, all Kendrick did was use those rumors in a battle, and those rumors just happened to go viral. They reached the surface. And the thing is that people before this battle had always said, Drake has always been questionable in regards to stuff like that. But it's the fact that it's coming from his label. The company that has been with Drake for 15 years has had a business relationship with UMG for many, many years. So when it's them saying that the rabbit hole has always been there, it makes you think, what else do they know? And what else can they bring to the surface?
Yeah, man. So you already know. I definitely think that Drake wanted to muddy the waters with a lot of these things, but UMG seen right through that. And I think that they're just scratching the surface. I think UMG know more than what we know. I think that there's a lot of stuff that probably was being covered up. And I think they're going to cook him. I think if they have to go to trial, he's going to get cooked. And if he don't get cooked in court, in the court of public opinion, he's already cooked. He's going to get cooked because it's going to look like they're basically bringing out all the stuff that Kendrick Lamar was saying, and that's going to make Not Like Us even more powerful. So I'm honestly, if I'm Drake, I'm dropping the case, because at this point, I mean, what your lawyers are going to say? Your lawyers can't dance around it, and they never said that Kendrick wasn't telling the truth. They never said that he was lying. They never said Kendrick Lamar has been lying on my client. They never said that. At least I never heard that. I never heard it. So, but it is what it is. All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I had to throw this emergency episode out. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Peace. Bye. Thing is so crazy sometimes. I have this thing on my computer to me trying to get out of here and transition, but for some reason it doesn't do it. So I'm just gonna have to end it the way it ends. I'm just gonna probably cut that part out on this part. All right, man. See y'all. Peace. Bye.